So the kind of car you drive might correlate with who you vote for and how frequently. Let's get into it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I came across a very interesting article from Fortune.com about the kind of car people drive and how it correlates to who they vote for and how often they vote for them. Voter turnout, all that good stuff. Now, it's pretty interesting. You may see your branded car and agree or disagree. And before I even get into the graph and the article, guess who votes more for liberals as far as a car manufacturer versus who votes more for the other side, for conservatives? Y'all just have that in your mind before we get into the graph. And I think once you figure out who votes the most liberal, it's going to be very interesting when you see the owner of that particular car brand, right? Let's go ahead and get into it. Here is the article right here on Fortune, and you see who that is right there straight away. The Elon paradox. He sells Teslas, but you'd expect him to drive a Ram. Here's what your car says about your politics. So you got my man right there, Elon, with the cowboy hat, going to Texas, right, with a Texas t-shirt. And you got Teslas right there. But who is the typical buyer of a Tesla? Let's get into it. I'm going to read some of this article. It says, politics, cars, and the internet collided when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis officially began his presidential campaign. In a Twitter interview with Tesla CEO Elon Musk, while unconventional, the launch was in some ways fitting. Mr. DeSantis' chief challenge, to borrow from a 2016 Barack Obama line, is convincing GOP voters they are ready for that new car smell. Buying a car, after all, is a lot like choosing a president. It's a major decision, one that Americans typically live with for about 8 years. Not me. I lease my car 3 years and out. How about that? Like voters, prospective buyers do significant research and comparison shopping. They consider performance, reliability, appearance, and how promised benefits might meet their needs. Yet while facts matter, buying a car remains a very emotional decision, often more heart than head. How does a car make me feel? What will it make others feel about me? That's real. Okay, you're driving a certain kind of car in a particular neighborhood. It's like, okay, what's going on? You're going to get judged by your car if it's not up to snuff. You're living in a really high dollar area and you driving the beater. It's like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? Anyway, more than any other consumer purchase, your car choice, much like your vote, is an expression of your personality, your values, and yes, even your politics. We've been tracking the politics of consumers for 20 years by analyzing the Nielsen, Scarborough, and GfK MRI data sets, which include hundreds of thousands of annual in-depth interviews with American adults. We've explored the partisan differences among beer drinkers, sports fans, fast food eaters, and retail shoppers. Car owners are one of the more intriguing consumer groups. Today, when it comes to the politics of cars, it's a Ram versus Tesla world. Now, here is the graph. Now, y'all look at this. Now, I'm going to tell you how to read this. Okay, you see this darker line right here in the middle? That is the line between the left and the right politically. So, and it's color coded as well. So the blue dots represent those who vote more for liberal Democrats. And the red, opposite, that's Republican conservatives. Now, the higher up you go on this graph, the higher vertical you go, that's going to represent a higher voter turnout, and the lower voter turnout. You can kind of see what's going on. You see right over there at the furthest left is Tesla. Okay, we are pretty much got that right. A lot of leftists are gonna own Teslas. Now, I like Tesla cars. They're nice. I drove in one. Well, I didn't drive it. I rode in one. A friend of mine had one some years back. It was nice. It had the doors that go up. I forget which is butterfly. I think the butterfly doors. It had the continuous windshield, then all the way up to the top. It was nice. It was very nice, but I think they're impractical vehicles because if the battery goes out, you pretty much got to total the car. The battery going to cost $15,000, $20,000 to replace. They take forever to charge. 25 minutes on the low end. Ain't nobody got no time for that. I'm trying to be at the gas station and out in under 5 minutes. I don't have that kind of time. I think they're nice vehicles, just impractical, and they're very young technically. All right. Then you have Mercedes. That's interesting. Subaru. Is that really a thing? People get Subarus a lot. A lot of leftists have Subarus. That's a pretty big percentage too. BMW, Audi, of course, Audi drivers. I mean, you guys impatient, flashing your lights. Like I was watching videos on Instagram of this car page, and the person was at a red light, and as soon as the light turned green, the Audi was honking the horn. It's like, look, I can't even go right now because there's a car still coming right in front of me. The car was in front of the other car, and the Audi laying on the horn already. That's pretty much an average Audi driver. But shout out to the Audis, though. I like the Audi, the A4. Yeah, it's a very nice vehicle, but I'm not really sure about the maintenance. And that's something interesting right here. Lexus has a higher liberal representation, more than Toyota, which is what I drive. I'm a Toyota guy all the time. And that's pretty much where I am. I'm a little bit further to the right, I suppose, but that's me, my Toyota. I've had every Toyota vehicle you can imagine. I've only not had a Toyota Prius. I've had a Camry twice, Corolla, RAV4, 4Runner, Tundra, never a Tacoma. They're too small for me. I was going to get one, but it's just too small. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". I'm scrunched in there. But Lexus is also, it's the same as Toyota. So that right there represents a little bit of, okay, I'm better than you type of thing, in my opinion. Volvo owners, I think be getting into Volvo, Cadillac, Lincoln. This is more of your older driver. Okay. My granddad had a Lincoln. He had two Lincolns. He had a classic Lincoln from, I think, the 70s or so, or the 80s. It was an older vehicle with the cigarette trays in the on the console or on the door handles. Then he had a newer Lincoln that was beautiful, all leather. It was nice. But of course, as my granddad, he had the Lincoln. Ford, of course, F-150, big time. You know it. Porsche, very interesting. Luxury car right there. That's more of a conservative vehicle. That's a higher end luxury car than I see anywhere on this side. BMW, Audi, all of that. These are just German regular vehicles. Mercedes, also same thing. Porsche, much more of a luxury car. Ram, of course, that's way over on the far right-hand side. All right. Definitely big truck. That is the personification of a big truck. GMC, of course, another big one. Buick, very interesting. And then right here on the left, we have Land Rover. That's pretty interesting as well. Volkswagen, Honda, Acura. Yeah, that's interesting. Nissan over here. And as I said, once we go lower in this graph, once we go lower on the vertical, that represents a lower voter turnout. Okay, Hyundai, Chrysler, Kia. Kia is interesting to be over here on the right. That's interesting. I thought it might be a little bit more on the left, but whatever. Infiniti, which is also Nissan. Pontiac, Mitsubishi, Jag, Dodge. Dodge is kind of a small portion. I thought it might be a little bit more because of the trucks. And actually, Dodge, I'm thinking about the Scat Packs and the Hellcats and all that kind of good stuff. I think a lot of them don't even really vote, but that's a different story. So I see why they're low on the voter turnout. Chevy is interesting as well. Chrysler, Jeep. It kind of makes sense. I think the only thing that surprised me a little bit was the Porsche, to be totally honest. And the Honda might be a little surprising. Yeah, and also I think the Dodge. But beyond that, that's pretty much on point. That is pretty much on point. I'm going to get to some more of this article. There might be a little bit more because they were able to analyze it by your location as well. As Bubble Chart shows, Ram pickup owners are very, very Republican, with GMC drivers registering a close second. GOP drivers clearly love their made in USA trucks and SUVs. Notably, the British brand Land Rover, formerly a high R index brand, has moved to the center left as it has become more of a luxury line appealing to urbanites. Yeah, Land Rover, I'm not really a fan of. I mean, they're nice to look at, but I keep hearing about them having all kind of little mechanical problems. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. And actually, I don't really like luxury cars for myself to drive. I'd rent one. I've rented an Audi. I would rent a Porsche or something like that. But to drive it, I think it's impractical. It's just not really my cup of tea, but no hate. But let's continue. On the other side, Tesla is the most democratic car make by a long shot. Its position is unsurprising given one of its key selling points, no carbon emissions. It's a priority for progressives. The Tesla lineup currently lacks a truck or big SUV favored by Republicans. Correct. And the funny part about Tesla is that Elon, of course, is the guy behind it. And a lot of progressives look at Tesla as a far right person. So I've seen this meme. If I could find it, I'll put it on the screen. The meme had a Tesla. Well, it wasn't a meme, it was a picture. It was a Tesla with a sticker that had Elon's name with the line through it. Like, yeah, I have a Tesla, but I'm not an Elon Musk fan. That's kind of how they do. Hilarious. Politically, Tesla has occupied the space previously held by Subaru in 2012 and Volvo in 2004 on an automotive left. Over time, both these car makers' bubbles have migrated toward a less partisan middle as they have grown in their market shares. Residents of San Francisco area, home to Elon Musk's Twitter, well, are they still in San Fran? They might go to Texas anyway, have the nation's highest concentration of Tesla owners, more than 3 times the national average, according to the Nielsen Scarborough data. Of course, they can afford it. Look at the average salary in a place like San Fran, $130,000 or something crazy like that. Yeah, they can afford a Tesla, and they don't really mind waiting 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 hours to charge it. Anyway, so the San Fran Tesla ownership is more than 3 times the national average. Well, like I said, I think their salary is also 3 times the national average. According to the Nielsen Scarborough data, the next top Tesla markets are also Democratic strongholds, Denver, Honolulu, and LA. No surprise there. Let me see. Over the past years, politics, Tesla drivers, and those Mr. Musk have diverged sharply. Mr. Musk's partisan evolution has created what we call the Elon paradox. He is selling Teslas, but you might expect him to drive a Ram, right? I'm with it. There's more here, but I will link to it in the description if you want to read it for yourself. But that was very interesting. Did you see any kind of surprises on there? Where was your car on the list? Does it kind of correspond with you? Good questions, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about that bubble? How do you feel about the article? Do you think it's on point? Not really on point? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. There were a few surprises in there, but for the most part, it was on point. I think Toyota was right where it should be. That's a very, very, very common car. The Camry is all over the place. They last for forever. And then, like, you have a big range of types of vehicles. You got hybrids. You got the Prius. You have the big trucks, the big Tundra, the small compact Corolla, the more mid-sized Camry. You got a little bit of everything. So it appeals to everyone, which is why it's right smack dab in the center. But I think the more red leaning is because of the big trucks. That's just my humble opinion. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.